Welcome to the Mojo Mundi podcast, where it's all about magic, manifesting, and movement. I'm Ginny Watts, the Dancing Witch, and together we are stepping into the light in the darkness. I connect with an Ogdode, a pantheon of 8 major Celtic deities, 4 goddesses and 4 gods, each pair interlaced with one of the 4 cardinal directions, east, south, west, and north, and with one of the 4 elements, fire, earth, water, and air. Each deity has unique qualities, purviews, and personal resonances for me. I initially connected with some of these deities through my logical mind, while others came to me in journeys, and still others in a flash of intuition. I have been practicing this particular Wiccan lineage for over 30 years, and I am still getting to know a couple of my deities, in particular Lugh, my god of fire. Lugh is a god with a rich presence in Irish mythology. One of his primary epithets is Samhail Donach, which means skilled in every art. He is my god of fire because for me, fire is the element of creativity, the creative spark, the passion of creating in all forms. The legends of Lugh are rich with twists and turns, spiritual metaphor, hints of history, battles of wit and weapon, and parabolic wisdom. My favorite tale recounts how Lugh entered Tara, the high seat of the Tuatha De Danann, the 5th race of divine beings, the old gods of Ireland. Here is the short version of the tale. Lugh came to the gates of Tara and asked to be admitted. The gate guardian told him he could not enter unless he had a skill that no other in Tara possessed. Lugh claimed skill in every art, music, poetry, history, crafts, smithing, war, magic. Because there was already a master of each of the arts Lugh listed, the guard told him he could not enter. Lugh then asked if any of the Tuatha De Danann was a master of all the arts as he himself was. The guard challenged Lugh to prove his claim, and Lugh agreed to take up the challenge. He met in trial with each master in Tara and bested each in turn, earning his admittance into the Tuatha De Danann and the epithet Samhail Donach, master of all crafts. Lugh is the deity of my Ogdode who is least familiar to me. In the last few months, however, I have consciously connected with him often and feel a much deeper understanding of how he flows through me and my life and my world. Several weeks ago, during my morning gratitude practice, he offered a specific epithet for himself, light in the darkness. I would never have thought of using that phrase to describe him, which helped me feel confident that was truly a communication from Lugh. Given my experiences with him, however, I had no idea what it could mean. I stepped into the not knowing and asked for guidance in understanding the gift of light in the darkness. A couple weeks later, I was struggling with being stuck and discouraged, lost in worry about what the future could hold. I was laboring through my daily gratitude practice, having great difficulty feeling sensations of thankfulness. I connect with all my 8 deities throughout this daily ritual. In one round of connecting with Lugh, I literally saw how creativity acts as a light in the darkness. My struggle of worry and future focus was based in not knowing. Despite my awareness of the importance of not knowing and my desire to rest in the not knowing with ease and patience, my progress has been stuttering at best. As I sat in connection with Lugh, I saw my worry about the future in images. I was standing in a deep, dark forest, uncertain of where I was going and unable to find a path to backtrack. While I have deepened my trust in my intuition and communication with deities, I never cease to be amazed and surprised at a message of this sort. I recognize my fear of not knowing, of not having control, of the what-ifs. I also felt Lugh's presence within and all around. I kept still, breathing and focusing on not knowing, rather than on the fear. Suddenly, being able to name the not knowing shed a little light on the forest that surrounded me. I could just make out the dense stand of trees that encircled me. In another moment, I saw in my mind an idea for an offering I really wanted to share with others. This idea did not clearly address any of my worries. It did spark my love of creating. With that awareness, I discovered that I could see the ground directly in front of me. I took a step forward into that little pool of light. A gift from Lugh, light in the vast darkness that surrounded me. The images dissolved, and I felt ready to move forward in the here and now of the physical world, one creative experiment at a time. I still don't know where I will end up in a month or a year, and yet I have shed a lot of the worry. To find a glimmer of knowing in the vast, dark forest of not knowing was relieving and instructive. There is an abundance of wisdom, truth, guidance, and encouragement for me in this communication from him, and I'd like to highlight some of the nuances while we are together. First, I want to remember that connecting with deity on a regular basis is important in times of celebration and in times of struggle, whether I feel like it or I don't, whether I think I have time or not. My temptation is to postpone my spiritual practice if I'm feeling tight on time or if I'm feeling negative or distracted. The irony is that it's those moments of having too much to do, or of feeling discouraged or thwarted or hurt, of feeling disconnected and uninspired, when I need connection the most. Practicing connection with my goddesses and gods daily increases the likelihood I will follow through even when I don't feel like it, and it also results in some kind of gift, even in the most distracted, superficial, or agonizing instance of the practice. Something always shifts to some degree. The next awareness for me is that I am always delightfully surprised by intuitive experiences and manifestations, even though I believe in their validity and reality, even though I have experienced them in ever-increasing numbers and magnitude, even though I think I shouldn't feel surprised. As I recognize once again that I am judging myself in regard to a should, or rather, in this case, a shouldn't, I discover another gift in my experience. I realize that the surprise is actually an outcome of allowing the not knowing and of inspired unfolding. I have equated the surprise with a precursor of doubt. Like faith should result in a blasé attitude toward prayers answered in the face of magical experience, my self-criticism implies I would only be surprised if I really didn't believe or trust co-creating. That was the case at one point in my journey, but while the surprise and delight continue, the instigator is very different. Now, I am confident in co-creating, and I know that the outcome of my conscious co-creating will be beautiful. The delightful wonder comes from the willingness to let deity do their part without my knowing what the details will be or how it has all come about. It's the joy of planting a garden and then discovering each elegant, miraculous plant as it rises out of the darkness and into the light. We know that plants grow from seeds. We even know most of the time what we have planted, and the wonder and excitement persist. I had not until now identified or attended to this shift. How can we not be amazed and elated again and again that in each and every moment, Goddess, God, Mother Nature, is walking with us, conversing with us, listening to us, and co-creating our world with us? The medium of Lugh's message, a sensorial vision, reminds me that experiencing the spiritual is profound. If I had heard the message in my head, which sometimes happens, or read it or heard it in the flow of conversations throughout the day, which also happens, it would have been very helpful. The opportunity of seeing, hearing, smelling, touching the forest, the darkness, the fear, the lack of clarity, and the light, in combination with naming the not knowing, empowered the message for me. It was simultaneously more memorable and more present, more resonant. I can remember not just the idea, not just the words, but also the sensations of its truth. Another gift of this sensorial communication was feeling the spark of knowing while still being physically immersed in the darkness of the not knowing. To enact this coincidentia oppositorum was and is powerful. I think it was the source of greatest shift for me, releasing the struggle with contradictions to the indisputable truth of the experience. It is one thing to try to logically argue away discomfort. It is quite another to call up the physical sensation of harmonizing the incompatible to dispel the physical tension of apparent conflict. Discovering creativity as an antidote to worry in the not knowing was a completely surprising gift. I know that contrast instigates creativity, and I think not knowing may be one of the most powerful forms of contrast for us humans. Not knowing is also part and parcel of allowing co-creation to unfold. If we can't sit with the not knowing, we end up trying to force the co-creative process, which is the opposite of allowing and inspired unfolding. Not knowing is like the soil for the seed. It is the threshold we sustain as potential is coalescing into the manifested. How witty is it that we can cope with not knowing in the co-creative process by stepping into more creating? What an elegant and intricate weaving this whole process is. Can the message get any clearer? We are here to co-create. It reminds me of the pentagon and its relationship to the golden ratio and the Fibonacci spiral, which are fundamental mathematical descriptions of growth patterns in plants, seashells, crystals, human anatomy, galaxies, and so on. The pentagon holds within its mathematical structure continuous self-replication, scaling in both diminishing and expanding directions. Likewise, God hands us the invitation to move into another co-creation in order to tolerate the not knowing of the current co-creation. If we say yes to the invitation, we are guaranteed to live co-creating in each and every moment, which means we are guaranteed to be in constant, awakened, intentional relationship with deity, and guaranteed to be fulfilling our purpose and expanding our world. The coincidentia oppositorum of co-creation being its own antidote lets us know magic is afoot. Yet, upon closer inspection, it is simply a case of the natural rhythms and universal laws that govern the sinuous weaving of human and divine energies, which is yet another seeming contradiction. This is not the stuff of human imagination. The synergistic confluence of the manifested and the potential, of creator and creation, always produces this sacred, perceptible convolution. We may observe such complexity in the otherworldly siphonophores, in rare Ewingite crystals, in the communal nests of the sociable weavers and other weaver birds. If we allow ourselves to flow with deity through the labyrinthine experience of co-creating, we will always be accompanied by light in the darkness, and then miracles happen. Where do you find meaningful connection with God? How does spirit show up in everyday life? What would increase your sense of communication with Goddess? With whom do you share wondrous experiences of Creator? If you are uncertain about the answers to these questions, or if you can feel there is something more to know, I am holding a dedicated space just for you to find the answers you hold within you. Connect with me to ignite your inner wisdom and light the way forward on your living path. You can reach me via my website or email, or on Facebook or Instagram at Caravan of Dreams MT. Our music is used by permission of the artist, Sean Phoenix. Thank you, Sean. And thank you to Bozeman Public Library for the Workbench Sound Studio located in beautiful downtown Bozeman, Montana. If you would like to learn more about allowing and how to find your unique style of manifesting, please visit my website, caravanofdreamsmt.com, or email me at dancingwitchmt@gmail.com. This is Ginny Watts, the Dancing Witch. Till next time, blessed be.